driven by Lee Mueller, is a West Coast prepared car. Mueller has won SCCA national championships 4 times. Mueller's opponent is Bob Tullius in number 44. Tullius from Virginia has won 5 national championships in various classes of SCCA competition. At the wheel of the pace car, Phil Hill, America's only Grand Prix world champion. His passengers are Alex Park, Chief Executive of British Leyland, and Graham Whitehead, President of British Leyland in North America. 2 equally matched Jaguars follow the pace car on a warm-up lap. Let the drivers themselves describe this race in their own words. First, Bob Tullius in car number 44.
Pace lap. I always like pace laps because I get to relax a little bit, warm up my tires and brakes, and think about how I'm going to beat the guy next to me. And whenever I do that, I always lose. Better I should look at the girls.
Now the voice of Lee Mueller in number 12.
Finally get to start on the match race that we've been waiting for 2 years.
I'm glad Hill pulled up because I knew he was going to embarrass us with that XJS. Coming down to the start at Laguna Seca. There it goes. When it started, I obviously had a little bit of acceleration on you, and I noted that and filed it back in my head a little bit.
Fortunately, I know where Laguna Seca turns and where it doesn't. There's evidence here.
My string broke. I had big strings tied on the back of you, and I was going to follow you around till the last lap. Now I was going to reel it in, but at this point, I'm playing the catch-up game. And that's really tough on a racetrack that you don't know. As you were making room for me in the gentlemanly way, and I almost bumped you off the racetrack, we had a race that we'd thought about, both of us, for years and years.
See how you cut me off nicely there?
I thought that was very artistic, yes. I was amazed at how much I had missed that 450 horsepower because I had been driving a much smaller car much of the season before our XJS had been completed. You know, looking at these cars and knowing the historical background of them, it's fitting that this thing should happen at this particular classic car event because these certainly are classic cars with classic lines built by a very proud company, and turning them into race cars, and probably the most exciting of all production race cars ever built in the world. Those 2 cars right there, because they're Jaguars, they're powered by the world's only production V12 engine. Really crowd pleasers.
If we accelerated up to about 140 miles an hour coming into this corner, so it flat gets with it here, and the car really felt well. The thing is my nice LSD car. That's a long, slippery devil there, the silver one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. We hold the track record here at Laguna Seca in 1 minute and 13 seconds.
I was thinking about the fact that white car is on its way to back to Coventry to be placed in Jaguar's museum for all of time, and every time you got close to me, all I could think about was the possibility of it going over there with a Mueller din in it.
Yeah, like my own piece of history, right?
Look at that, side by side, those 2 things. See, that's incredible. The lap after this, I think, is where the tire went flat, but you and I were having an end of the race drag race right here, and I was planning to do that at the end of the race. See how far? About 2 feet, that's all. I was planning to do that at the end of the race.
Just trying to get by, but yeah, wouldn't let me,
Oh, yes.
Well, I just figured that I wanted to be on the inside, because if I had the inside, the outside would really get narrow for you. And
oh, yes.
The cars do take up a lot of room on the racetrack.
And you've been known to take up a lot of room more than the average car. You know, you look like a Fruhoff when I try to go by you. Isn't that exciting racing? I get really excited looking at it because side by side, the 2 most beautiful things in terms of race cars that I've ever seen on a racetrack, and they're performing in their final event, and that just gives me a little bit of goosebumps, even though I'm driving it.
Well, I wish we were still campaigning the cars myself, because the crowds really come out to see these cars perform.
I was sure that this was the last lap, and I had been planning to be on the inside, or rather the outside of the last corner.
Yeah, but I got my 12 car on the outside, which would be the inside of the last turn. I was perfectly happy. That's what I wanted.
Well, it's incredible. There's the air going out of the tires, so all the strategy went all to hell. But I had been planning on the outside in a drag race. You had been planning on the inside. I wonder what would have happened had we both been planning on the inside.
I think it turned out a lot better for everybody that didn't happen.
That this was the end. This was the last time Jaguar, the XKE Roadsters, were ever going to be shown on a racetrack.